Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. How are you? So this is frustrating. Yet again, I went to record this podcast, and I'm going along. And again, just like the other day, I was going right along in a groove. Everything was great. And then I looked down and realized that it's not recording. And I was like, son of a bitch. It just happened again. So I'm not digging this new recording thing I've got going on. And it means that all signs keep pointing to I need to be professional and sit down at my professional podcasting microphone. And I need to actually be doing this on my laptop. And I need to quit dinking around, Tricks are for kids. Well, I guess using an iPhone to do a podcast is for kids. But I really, like I've said so many times, I cannot get past the fact that if I do that, I have to sit down and I have to make sure that like nobody comes in or knocks on the door or I don't know. I just have a problem. Sitting still is not my forte, especially when I'm doing something that makes me feel weird or uncomfortable. I have to pace. Like when I'm talking on the phone, I pace and pace and pace and I go through the house and I wear out a trail in my house from pacing. So, but at the same time, I can't keep doing my podcast over and over again because you lose your mojo, you get on a roll. And then you have to kind of start over and be like, well, I can't really authenticate that. And then it's not going to sound genuine. So I have to kind of go in a different direction. So basically what I was yammering on about was first off, Singapore. There's like 250 downloads coming out of Singapore. And I looked, and this is sad, but I do not actually know how many episodes I have recorded. It's either 100 or 200 because I'm coming up on like where I get this little award if you get 200 podcasts, I think it is, or 250. 250 episodes. And I can't remember if I'm close to that now or if it was 150. And I know that's a vast difference and I should know. Again, another reason why I need to actually have a professional podcast because then I would know these things. But at any rate, even if it's 200, I know that I have at least one person. I don't know if it's one person from Singapore or if it's several people, followed up by, of all countries, Canada and France. And I say this all the time, but I pick on Canada and France in particular constantly. So frickin' right on. I absolutely appreciate everybody from Canada and France tuning in as well. It's really funny because I ran into somebody that was getting ready to go to Paris and I got to go over there on a layover and it was only for like 12 hours. But in that time, I got to go around and I was not really wanting to see the Eiffel Tower. It wasn't even really on my radar. But then I thought, I'll go check it out because if you're in Paris, I feel like you need to see Notre Dame and Notre Dame, however you want to say it, and the Eiffel Tower. And I feel really bad, but I got there and I was like, oh, wah, wah. Like I just felt like it was like when you go to light off a firework and it just kind of goes boom, boom, it's really not that great. First of all, it's a lot shorter than I thought. And to me, I was like, I don't really understand all the hype. I don't get the hoopla. I was far more infatuated with the carousel that was in front of the Eiffel Tower than the Eiffel Tower itself. I did, however, absolutely love the architecture, the houses, the buildings there. Oh my God. So fucking amazing. And the streets, I love that they were like, I don't know if they're made of cobblestone. Maybe it's not cobblestone, but it's made out of like stone or whatever. That's also freaking awesome. Love it. Love the food. Food, architecture, amazing. Was not impressed with the Eiffel Tower and was not impressed with the people that I met. Thought everybody was kind of an asshole. My friend lived there for like 2.5 years, and then before that, she took French in college. So she spoke French absolutely fluently, had a great accent, lived in Paris for 2.5 years, and people treated her like garbage and spoke English to her, insisted on speaking English to her, even though great French accent, spoke it fluently, but they were like, no. So the fact that I have people from France, and again, I'm not knocking the country. I want to go to the countryside of France because it looks fucking spectacular. And I'm not knocking their country. Like I said, I'm just definitely knocking their government. Same with Canada, not knocking Canadians, just knocking their government. So I love that I've got Canadians and the French tuning me in. And speaking of that, let me know why you're tuning in. Are you tuning in under protest, under like it's some kind of torture for you? You're being tortured and you have to because you're in the military and they're doing it to like make you cough up information? Or are you listening because you want to? And if so, let me know what you like, what you don't like. I'm just thrilled to death, though, that people are, in fact, checking me out. They're not scared. They haven't been deterred or scared by my craziness and all of my nonsense. Lord knows I have no rhyme or reason. I just kind of talk about a million things and sometimes cry but I appreciate everybody that is still hanging on there with me, still hanging in. You guys are awesome. See, this is nothing like the podcast that I had just recorded. I'm kind of bummed. Twice now I was like on a roll being like, yeah, this is going to be my breakout podcast. This is going to be some good stuff. Everyone's going to be like, hey, have you checked out the Ramblings of an Insomniac? Did you listen to this episode? It was fantastic. Listen, woohoo. And both times I wasn't even recording. So now I keep checking down. Pardon me. Me. Anyway, I keep checking down and making sure that, is this thing on? Making sure it's on because I don't want to repeat for the millionth time. But I don't even know if I'm going to keep this episode because I'm quite literally rambling on. And I know it's called Ramblings of an Insomniac and I'm extra out of it, losing my dog. I lost my dog on the 7th, on Wednesday. And today is the first day I've been home. It's my first day off since I've lost my dog. And I went to go take my other dogs on a walk and it just was not the same. And I got down by the river and I just had a breakdown and I started crying because I was like, I should be walking my Nora. I should be walking my girl and I should have her. And she should be enjoying this day with me. She should be enjoying my day off with me and not having my partner that has been with me for 14 years and been insanely loyal, been here for some big deal stuff. It's just not the same. And it's the first day I've had to deal with it. And so I'm just in like a real weird mood. I could go from crying hysterically to laughing to being angry to just being so blah that I just don't want to do anything. Nothing sounds good. Then I changed my mind 400 times on what I want to do today. I'm just spinning in circles. I'm just quite literally, well, no, not literally, but I am going in circles. I have no idea. I can't make a decision to save my life. And then Mother's Day just was a real bummer. Not only a bummer, but just hurtful. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm like, wow, I guess I'm just feeling sorry for myself, I guess. I'm kind of in that state, but not really, because it's not like I want anybody else to be like, there, it's okay, and give me a hug. That doesn't sound good either. I just want to kind of quietly feel sorry for myself for a moment and then just sit here and play like really ridiculously stupid games all day and be a big bum. I've already gone on 2 good walks, got some fresh air. I took my dogs on a really good walk and then I went out on my own and I've been outside actually for quite a bit today. So now I'm kind of in the mood to just be a big old bum. I even cleaned up my house already. So, got my dog some treats. So we're all ready. I don't know. I started playing this game called Stardew Valley, and it's this just farming game, and it's for a PC. And it's really funny because I said to my friend, "Are you down to farm?" And I was like, "DTF," and obviously DTF does not mean down to farm. It means something else entirely. So we just joke all the time with each other. We're like, "Hey, are you DTF?" Because we think we're hilarious. We find that hysterical. And we're like, "Yeah, we should get bumper stickers that say, 'Are you down to DTF?'" And then people will be like, I'll be like, "No, down to farm, right? Down to farm." People are like, "That's not what that means." There's an episode of New Girl where Jess is getting ready to get back out in the dating game. And she's like, yeah, and I guess she was texting, or no, she was on this dice game or something. And she was like, "It'll be a darn tootin' fun," or something like that. And she's like, DTF. Um, I'm DTF. I'm darn tootin' fun, or something like that. And she was like, "And send." And obviously she didn't mean down to fuck. She meant darn tootin' fun. Yeah. Anyway, so my reason, I'm going to get back to my reason for my entire podcast. I did have a reason. I bet you guys were all like, "Oh my God, for real, is she literally just going to sit on here and put us to sleep? Is she going to make us tune out? Is she going to make us never want to tune in again?" No, that's the answer. I actually do have a reason that I wanted to do my podcast today. And that is to talk about tariffs. Yay! The one thing that everybody is talking about. Tariffs. Give me a T. T. Tariffs and Trump. That should be like a bar. Tariffs and Trump. Or a drink. I don't know. A bar. That sounds funny. Let's go to Tariffs and Trump. Hey, everybody, let's go to Tariffs and Trump. And it'll be right next to Closed Borders. And that'll be a bar. I'm going to have a bar, and it's going to be called Closed. It's going to be called Legal Aliens. Anyway, so tariffs. For everybody out there, all the crazy, crazy left that has been going on and yammering, all the Democrats that have been like, "Oh, I bet you really regret your decision to vote for Trump now. I bet you're really, really wishing you never voted for Trump now. Oh, I bet you're hiding your head in the sand now. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Look at him, the Nazi. Look at him just ruining our economy. Look at him just bringing destruction." Okay, so it turns out that the tariff thing might just, in fact, turn out to be a good thing. And I know, you're going to say, "So he caused all this drama and all this craziness and caused the economy to dip for a couple of weeks. All because of what? Just to get right back where we already were? Just to get right back to the exact same place?" No. Here's where you're wrong. If that's what you're thinking, you're wrong. And here's why. No, he actually established something really important. What Trump did is something that no other president has done. And that is to say, look, we are no longer going to get bullied and have a guilt trip against us for paying you a shit ton of money and you not doing anything. We're not getting our fair share. We've been bullied and bullied and bullied, and we have been ran by a president with dementia that was weak sauce, and everybody wanted to attack us and knew that they could attack us because they knew that we were very fragile and weak. They knew that our economy was weak, and they knew that our leader was weak. So now what Trump did is say, "Fuck around and find out. I am not backing down. I am going to 100% have our country's back. And if it means for a short period of time that we can't get 2 lattes and we can't get tattoos and we can't go out and get an extra helping of food and we can't go out and be morbidly obese and we can't be lazy and we might have to work and we can't be freeloaders that just get free shit all the time. We might have to actually manage our money a little bit and not be frivolous so that in the long run, we can actually rise to the powerhouse that we used to be. We can have our reputation back. We can be back at the top of the totem pole. And Putin and Gigi Jaja Pingalingaling and Kim Jong Unipuni, little Pooty Pooty and little Jing Jing Pee Pee and little Kim Jong Unipuni can realize that they are not going to boss us around, and that if they try to, we're going to hold steady. We're going to be like, no, we're holding still. We're not bending the knee. We're not taking a step back. We're going to stand right where we are. In fact, we're going to take a little step forward. We're going to pressure you. We're going to let you know what it feels like to be pressured. We're going to let you know what it feels like to suffer a little. He established us being the top dog and letting every single fucking person on this earth knows that America is done being a pussy. Biden was a little pussy, and his administration and all the lefties that follow them have big old gigantic vaginas. Actually, I'm not going to say a vagina or pussy because those are very strong. They're not fragile like balls. Like Betty White said it best. I mean, why would you call someone a pussy if it meant they're weak when balls are incredibly weak and fragile? So don't be a pair of hairy testicles. That's not what America is. We're strong, and we're not going to back down, and we're not going to be bullied, and we're going to take our power back. And if you fuck with us, we're going to fuck you over 6 ways to Sunday. So what he did is something that no other president has done, and that is have the guts to stand up to actual dictators, to real legitimate dictators. Lefties like to be little, tiny, petite, frail, crying baby dewdrops, and they like to parade around half naked and force themselves on everybody. They're very date rapey. They're very non-consensual sexy. They're very, what was that drug? What was the date rape drug? Roofie. They like to I equate them to like being a roofie. They're very like push yourself and force yourself onto others to the point of like very brutally forcing yourself onto others to the point that you go into our bathrooms and locker rooms. It's very date rapey. Lefties are very pedophile. They're pedophiles and date rapists, really. Now, I know you're all going to go, oh, I'm a crazy lefty and I'm not a date raper and I'm not a pedophile. Okay, maybe not, but you're crazy. That is for sure. It has been proven. I don't want to, like say I don't like Canada or I don't like France. I just don't like how the government is ran. Well, I don't like leftists. I'm not saying Democrats. I'm saying lefties, the crazy lefties, the really extremists. You are the definition of a crazy person. You have all literally lost your marbles. I need to put like a lost and found signs up all over, put you on like unsolved mysteries, be like, we can't find, it's a mystery. Where did their common sense, where did their logic, where did their brains go? Where did their balls go? Like we need to put out an APB. Stat. All the leftists have lost their fucking brains. It's just, oh. So my point is, people are going, well, it's like giving everybody a cheeseburger and then taking away the cheeseburger and waiting a long time and then slowly giving people back a cheeseburger and being like, see, I gave you all cheeseburgers. I've heard that scenario and it's like, but no, that's not actually what happened. What happened is Trump finally stood up to us. He knew it was going to hurt our economy for a bit because, again, things that are usually really good for us sometimes hurt a little bit. Sometimes we get really tired if we work out. Sometimes our muscles are sore. Sometimes we sweat. Sometimes we get dehydrated. So we have to stretch. We have to stretch before and after exercise. We have to drink water. But sometimes to lose weight or to gain muscle, or to lose weight and gain muscle, to be healthy and not have diabetes and not have a heart attack, we sometimes have to cut things out of our diet that suck. Or we sometimes have to exercise so that we don't have a heart attack and we don't have diabetes. So sometimes to get our economy back on track, we have to sacrifice. Our military has to sacrifice for us all the time. So sometimes don't we owe it to our military and our country to again not have that second frappuccino, that frappe, to not get our nails done, to not have our second helping of food? We're just a bunch of entitled, spoiled, rotten brats that don't want to actually have to sacrifice anything. So what Trump did was made us sacrifice for 2.5 seconds, and most of us didn't even see the sting. And if one more person brings up eggs that already happened in the Biden administration, remember, Trump has only been president since January, February, March, April, May. 4 months, people. 4 months. A quarter of a year he's been president, and you guys are like, why hasn't he saved the entire world yet? Well, guess what? He's doing more in this 4 months, literally, quite literally, more in this 4 months than Biden has ever done in his entire career as a politician. More than Obama's 8 years. And more than Biden's entire career. So this tariff thing is frustrating because what he did, even if we don't know what the deal is, maybe the deal is we're just going to go back to how it was. Well, that was not all for naught. It was to establish dominance. It was to pee on our territory and be like, this is mine. Don't fuck with it. I'm going to pee a circle around the United States. And anyone that tries to fuck with us from now on knows, they now know, Russia and China and every other fucking country now knows that if we say that we're going to do something or that we're not going to do something, if we say something, you better understand that we mean it. You better know that we mean business and we're not messing around. That's what he's established. He's established to Xing Xing Ping-a-ling-a-ding that you don't get to boss us around. We're just going to pee on you. We're going to give you a handshake and pull you in like he does. And he's going to whisper in your ear, fuck around and find the fuck out, you little bitch ass punk. Because Trump's not scared. And we shouldn't be either. We need to be ready to fight for our country because we fight for things that we love, that we respect, that we care about. We fight for our family. So we should fight for our country because we are all one family. We shouldn't be fighting more for Black people or more for transgender people or more for gay people or more for Democrats or more for women. No. That's the definition of prejudice. That's the definition of prejudice. You don't get to pick and choose. I mean, we all live in the same country, so we all deserve the same rights as far as the right to, not be sentenced. We all have the same amendment rights. And in order to continue that, we need someone like Trump that is going to fight for our Constitution, that's going to fight for this country and what it stands for, and our right to not be censored, and our right for women to be in women's sports without having a man in the way. Sorry, my brain is not working. I'm not speaking very eloquently, but I hope to God that all these people that have been like, oh yeah, tariffs are horrible, that's going to just ruin the country. If Trump can come to an agreement of lowering the tariffs to lower than what they were, then he just did something absolutely amazing. And do you think those lefties are going to praise him or thank him in any way or give him any kind of credit? Fuck no. No, they'll just find it horrible. Somehow they will find that awful. What? We're saving money? What? We made it to where a gigantic dictator no longer knows now that they can no longer fuck with us, and now they actually know that, man, maybe we shouldn't fuck with the United States. Trump has established dominance and has made our economy better, has helped our economy. How dare he? How dare he make our borders safe and make our economy better and establish dominance and keep our women safe and make our schools have more money by getting rid of the Department of Education? How dare he do better for the kids and take out pedophiles and make it where there is one national anthem and no more transgender flag? How dare he? What a garbage piece of crap Trump is for loving this country. How dare he love this country and its people regardless of race? How dare he do all he has for African Americans? How dare he put the youngest woman in charge of, is the press secretary, and make a woman his, oh my God, I forgot what it's called because my brain just went dead. Susie, his right hand woman. I forgot what that is called now. I will think of it later. But anyway, so frustrating because none of these crazy lefties are going to give him an ounce of credit, and they're just going to continue to hate on him and find more to hate. It's like, what do you hate? You hate that he has found that Doge has found a ton of fraud and saved us a shit ton of money, billions. You hate that he has found money laundering and that the money laundering and fraud can no longer continue, and our taxpayer money can now be spent on things that we need and no longer money laundered. You like our money being spent frivolously on illegal things and on pedophiles and gang members and illegal immigrants. You like that? You want our economy to be bad? You want our women to be put in danger? You want our children to be mutilated? Mutilated. At 12 years old, you want their breasts cut off and take hormone blockers so that they can be sterile and have all kinds of incredibly horrible side effects? You want adult men to rub their body parts all over your child and have your child pay money? These are things you want, and you don't want Trump to stop, which he did. You didn't want him to stop those things. You wish we had pedophilia. You wish we had pedophiles touching our kids. I'm not saying transgender are pedophiles. I'm saying, though, there have been transgender pedophiles that have gone into bathrooms, public bathrooms, and gone into places with children, because you're just inviting that type of atmosphere when you're approving stripping for minors, when you're approving parades that have people dressed like furries and in bondage, and you're promoting children to see that. Because I don't even like it when Beyonce and a lot of these musicians dress showing off half their body. I don't like when the Kardashians show off half of their body and barely cover up. But they're not having children dance for them. They're not having minors give them money. They're not going around in a parade having children watch them. I mean, they are in public all the time dressed half naked, but they don't approach children and ask them to, and start dancing for them for money. So there's a difference. But no one is going to give Trump any kind of credit, because if he manages to pull off an actual good deal with China, holy shit, he will have achieved something that no other president has, and he will have turned this economy around. The stock market is up right now because they know it. So I hope to God all this lefties will be like, oh, wow, but they're not going to. Of course, they're not going to admit that they were wrong. They're just going to try to spin it in some kind of convoluted, crazy-ass thing. And the problem is, when you have your head crammed so far up your derriere, it's really hard to see what's going on in the world, and it's really hard to hear because things are muffled by your ass cheeks. You can't see, you can't hear. You need to be able to like look around and see all angles, see all points of view. Don't just watch CNN, watch Fox, watch all different media outlets. I do. Try to learn something. Try to do less talking when you're watching, like you're opposing, like if you are a Democrat and you're watching Fox. Try to actually listen, not just sit there and pretend like you're hearing. Don't just nod your head while you're, staring at your nails. Listen, actually listen. Same with when I am watching like CNN. I try to actually listen, not just immediately judge. I admit it is very hard to stomach listening to CNN or MSNBC. Again, Rachel Maddow has the most slappable, punchable face in all the land. Like in all the land. Don't you just want to like put her on a punching bag, her face on a punching bag? I've said this in a podcast before. If they put Rachel Maddow's face like in an arena and for mixed martial arts or boxing or something, and if the opponent put Rachel Maddow's face on the opponent, you would win because you would just want to keep punching and punching and punching until they were a bloody pulp. She just incites anger. Ugh. But I hope to God when these tariffs, even if it goes back to the same, it was not all for nothing. It was to establish dominance so that other countries, especially China, understood that we are no longer the weak-ass Biden administration. We're no longer the dementia-wearing, poop in your pants, word salad, money laundering, fraudulent, pedophile administration that was the Biden administration. We don't mutilate children. We're against that. Sorry. We're not down with that. So these are some things keeping me up. I'm loving what Trump is doing. I love how there's videos of people being like, oh, all of the Trump supporters are just hating Trump now. They're just hating Trump now. Stop saying that. You said that right before he ended up winning and being our president. You just look like a moron. Again, the internet is forever, people. I know when I do things and I put it out, it's forever. It's always out there. So if you don't mind looking like a moron for the rest of your life, then by all means. But if not, you really need to be quiet because you're not saying anything that is factual and you're not saying anything that has common sense. It's not common sense based. And when you're talking over people just to hear yourself talk, that's a problem because you'd probably learn something if you would stop listening to one news station and if you would actually listen. So we all need to practice that. I know I need to practice it sometimes. I get on my soapbox. I have to learn to listen. I have to learn to listen and look at all points of view. That's why I try to watch MSNBC and CNN and listen to lefties and Democrats. Again, I love a lot of Democrats, many, many Democratic friends. Many friends who are Democrat. There we go. I have many friends who are Democrats, and I love them dearly. But the left, the crazy left, is just, I can't. I just can't. There's no having a conversation. But I try. I do try. And then I'm just like, oh, I can't. I'm going to throw up. I can't stomach it. It's going to give me an ulcer. It's going to make me constipated. So don't be constipated. Eat healthy. Sometimes things hurt and we don't want it to be because you're trying to poop. We want you to be feeling good. So take a breath. We all need to remember to take that breath. Is this something we can control? Can I control Canada? Can I control France? Can I control the left? No. Can I control Trump? No. I can only control myself. So that is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to be a fat ass today and play games and watch stupid stuff and be on social media trolling. And I'm going to breathe and I'm going to do some stretching and I'm probably going to go on another walk. I've already gone on several. It's been kind of rainy on and off, but I love it. I want to be like Drew Barrymore and go out. I don't know why people gave Drew Barrymore crap. Oh, was she too happy? Was she too happy? Was she finding joy in things? Was she finding joy in things that not everybody does? Was she encouraging people to be positive and even look at the rain as a blessing? How dare she? How dare she be a kind spirit that loves life? Like, why do we do that? Why do we hate on people that are genuinely finding the good in life? Dancing around in the rain and being happy and splashing in puddles is a good thing, last time I checked. Stop being an Eeyore. Quit being an Eeyore and quit dragging everybody else, the whole misery loves company. The left needs to chill out. Trump isn't going anywhere for a while, so you need to just put on your big girl and boy pants, put on your gender neutral unisex pants, and just go along for the ride. And if you don't want to, then start going to city council meetings and start doing something about it, because bitching about it doesn't change anything. It just pisses people off. And one day someone's going to punch you. And that's not going to be good. No one wants that. Don't have a punchable face. Don't be punchable. I'm not encouraging that. No one should be punching anybody. But on that note, also, let's stop burning down things every time we disagree. We need to try to find common ground, stick together, take a breath, control what we can, try to meet someone and talk to someone that maybe has a different point of view than you and try to find some type of common ground. I love those podcasters and those shows that focus on the common ground, the middle ground, trying to bridge that gap. Trying to talk to people that you have totally, vastly different points of view. It doesn't have to be just about politics. It could be about anything. It could be like, who likes chocolate chip cookies versus oatmeal raisin? Who likes winter versus summer? But try to have a conversation with people that don't always think and feel the same way you do, and try to do it like a normal, functioning adult. You don't have to stab someone or destroy their life or burn things down because someone has a different point of view. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that. That's sad that we need to be told that. We don't need to destroy things. Let's stop. Let's put away let's just stop knocking things off the shelf and start examining our own lives. We need to worry about us. Anyway, hey, if you're listening for the first time or the 100th time, I appreciate every single one of you. Again, no matter your race, no matter what you identify as, every person is welcome here. Even you, France, even you, Canada. I enjoy all of you. And I would love to hear from you at ramblingsofanInsomniac49@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Otherwise, hey, until next time.